All right, it is 9 o'clock on Monday, February 24th, 2020, and I will call the Potter County Commissioners Court to order. Today we have Gene Shelburne from the Emory Street Church of Christ to do our invocation, so if you please stand for that and remain standing for the pledge.
Even in the top offices of our nation, Lord, so many of our leaders right now are novices. They're untested, untrained, they're greenhorns, facing challenges that would daunt most veterans. Like Joshua of old, they walk where they have not trod before. They traverse unfamiliar terrain where they might easily get hurt or lost, and thereby lead the rest of us astray. Thank you, Lord, for providing our county with leaders who know the road. Thank you both for elected officials and for professional staff who lead us with the confidence and competence possible only to those with mature, proven skills. Thank you for the quiet wisdom and the steady hands of veterans who steer our county around the bumps and the potholes that wreck so many counties without seasoned leaders. Be with those who lead us, Lord. In your grace, reward them for the time and energy they invest to govern our county. Watch over our leaders' families and businesses while they watch over us. By your Spirit, guide them in right ways, Lord, both in this hour before us and in the days beyond. In the name of your Son, who said he always lets you lead. Amen.
Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Shelburne has to leave. His wife was put in the hospital last night, so I'll have some prayers for her. I'm just going right back to her. He writes an article in the Sunday paper about twice a month. And yesterday, I'm going to share one little story with you just real fast before we start. It's hilarious. He said that a parishioner comes up to the preacher and says, "Preacher, I'm really worried about my hearing." And the preacher puts his finger in his ear and he prays fervently over this guy's ear. And he says, "Now how does that feel?" He goes, "Well, I don't know, my hearing's not until next Tuesday." That's the kind of humor I got. First thing on the agenda is recognition of minutes from February 10, 2020, Commissioners Court meeting. So recognize. Vouchers, to consider and act upon the approval of the payment of vouchers processed by the county auditor's office for the period of February 5 and February 19, 2020. Check numbers 1895544 through 1899740 and wire transfers 1361 through 1369 in the amount of $3,416,376.07. Have a motion.
So moved.
Have a motion in a second. All in favor? Treasurer's report. Leanne.
What I have this morning is really an estimate. Text pool is completely down, they can't even get into their system. So, I'm a little concerned. But, so what I have is previous numbers, it's not today's exact numbers. So, at A and B, we're earning 1.77 with $11.4 million. I'm just gonna give you a guesstimate as we go. Texas class is earning 1.75 with $16.9 million. Tex pool, we're earning 1.61 and $32,408.41. and that's below estimate because I know, these are December's totals, so we've earned interest since then. Text pool prime is 1.77, and there's 10.2 million. And then in our FNC, that Financial Northeastern Company, where we have the 5 million brokered CDs. So this morning, we're at 43.7 million.
Dan, are you looking at making any moves to A and B or prime for what sits in Texas class? 16.9 sits in there.
With Texas class, right, not at this time. When I get, we have some of the brokered CDs will mature next month.
Okay.
And so I'll be making some changes and different things at that time. But, I'm pretty much gonna leave where things are. If I do, I may move it more to A and B because we're up in the 90% collection for our tax office. And so, we're, pretty set. So there'll be a little bit of movement, but not much.
An update from last time, the top 10 taxpayers, have all those come in? Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 4, insurance update. Is Katie here? No? Okay. So recognizing that. Number 5, Government Day 2020, to hear an update on the 7th annual Potter County Government Day scheduled for April 27, 2020.
Just a quick update, mainly so that you have the calendar date, April 27th, and we host that at the Santa Fe building. I'll run down quickly just what the day will probably look like. We're still adjusting times a little bit, but we'll start in the morning with a breakfast, meet and greet. Normally, as we do, about 8:15, so if you'll just plan those elected officials and department heads that would like to meet. We'll continue to have a member of each school sit with us on the stage to represent their school and participate in the commissioner's court that day. We'll have lunch. It'll be a little bit of a shorter lunch, and we are not gonna have videos this time during lunch. So for those elected officials that are able, and department heads that are able to sit at those tables, I know that the students really get a lot from that. And they do take us up on our questions and answers during that forum. Then we'll go to the Community Supervision and Corrections Department. We'll travel here to the courthouse, and Judge Weaver will be hosting us. We'll go to the District Courts building, Judge Sermon will be hosting, and then Potter County Color Guard will be participating this year in a little different. And then we'll close with student recognition. We have a couple of optional things at the bottom kind of the day that we're still working on. One, reminding students to vote if they're eligible to vote. So we want to remind them of that, and then some of the command vehicles possibly available at the Santa Fe building in the parking lot. We know parking is a constraint, so we're praying for no rain that day because we'll have to do a lot more walking this time around. So I encourage you all to join, and thank you to the committee who's continued to do this for 7 years. So just kind of want to give everybody a rundown of the day. If you could block your calendar. I know that students really do get a lot from the day, from the thank you notes that we get back.
Last year, we, through the election department from the land, we had a sort of exercise. Boy, is that,
They won't be able to do that this year just based on where we sit in the election cycle. So yeah, you're right, we had a mock election, and so that was great because they got to actually vote on a potential candidate and what that would look like and actually try the machines. But that won't happen this time around.
Okay, thank you. Number 6, Panhandle Auto Burglary Theft Unit to review and discuss the status of Potter County cases handled by the Panhandle Auto Burglary Theft Unit. Morning.
Morning.
I like your shirt.
Thank you.
Wish you get pink next time.
I'll start off with, they've done a great job of getting the numbers, and they had to individually go through every case in order to do that. And so, anyway, they deserve a big pat on the back, because they've got a lot of good numbers to talk to you all about, and I hope that y'all take care of that.
Is there anything we should be referring to in our backup?
Yeah, there's
or
no
just-
backup, there's nothing in the packet, is that okay? There's nothing in the packet for us to look at.
Which is fine, but
That's okay. Okay,
That's fine.
okay. Please identify identify yourself if you don't mind.
Actually, we're on the commander of,
Thank you. Thank you.
This is Tammy Sharik, she's our crime prevention specialist. And I'll have Tammy go over, we built a website, not a website, we use the website to map out all the stolen and recovered autos. And I thought y'all had access to that, but no, y'all don't, so, we'll give that to you today. Y'all can go in and check your precincts to see what's been stolen and recovered in each precinct, so, from 2018 to 2019. So, and I'll have Tammy go over that real quick.
If you'll go to the www.zeemaps.com, the login is,
Yeah, if you could just email that to us, that would be great.
That'd
Yeah.
be great, okay.
once you go on there, there will be two different maps. One of them will say 2018, and the other one will say 2019. The red are the stolen, and the blue are the recovered.
You can manipulate that map, you can zoom in to parts of the city to see what your precinct is and see what's there.
And the little tabs that are on there tell you the exact address.
If you click on the pin drop, it'll tell you what address it is. I'll email you as soon as I promise this, how to get on there. And I also included some other numbers that we've done through FY 2019, and the number of stolen actual passenger vehicles was 965, which is up 15 from last year. So passenger vehicles. Yeah, those vehicles.
15 quantity up or 15, not 15%.
No, 15 total. Yeah, 15 cars.
965.
965.
And that Potter and Randall or the whole panhandle?
That's within the city limits of Amarillo.
Within city, okay, got it, thank you.
Actually, that is part of it. That is part of Amarillo and city. The number of vehicles with keys that were stolen were 812, which is 82% of that. Yeah. Vehicles, there was 184 vehicles that were left running and occupied that were stolen, which is 184, which is 90%. And 90 motorcycles and ATVs stolen, and 93 trailers stolen.
That's what I did, I shook my head
I just
too.
can't believe it.
Your car is gonna get stolen at one point if you leave it running and got the keys in, well, or leave the keys in, it's gonna happen. And I just wanna tell the public, you're causing a lot of problems, officers, by doing that. Don't leave your keys in the car. It's an unnecessary crime, that doesn't have
Do
to
you find a
happen.
spike during temperature? Like, I think about when it's snowing outside,
Yes,
people go start their car. I keep thinking of, is there a way to somehow collaborate with different businesses that offer remote start, right? Because if people had a remote start inside their home, they wouldn't have to go,
Absolutely.
so I'm just kind of thinking of how do we really stop this?
We've been asked by several businesses to advocate that, but being that the grant does not allow us to do that.
Okay,
So,
okay.
we can't do that. I'd love to, but we can't.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
but you could give out a flyer and say next
Yeah.
time, okay. Well, I would imagine that probably happens when temperatures are cold and you go out and start your car before you go to work or those kind of things.
We had 7 cars stolen over the weekend, and all 7 had the keys in them.
I have a remote start. I start mine from my kitchen in my garage. I had to stop because it killed the cat. No.
Kenny's done a really good job. We still have good people. So, we broadcast daily on 5 radio stations for crime prevention. Of course, we have billboards, 2 billboards in the city. Some of the money numbers, have 2 personnel. This unit itself recovered almost $2.7 million worth of property last year. And we got my 19, sir.
You recovered that much?
Yes, sir. There's 2.6 in vehicles, 2.6 million, 17,000 in stolen parts, 750 in stolen firearms, 6,400 stolen, other stolen property. and the equipment was $130,000.
So Tammy, on the prevention side, 15 more than last year, right, and you're talking about a $500,000 reach. Is it effective, right, with our, we're still, the rate is still going up, right?
If we can get people to take the keys out of the car, it would be effective, but if people do that,
We kind of foresaw the rise happening because we're putting the information out, to pay the fees out, or that also means that, yeah, so that each of that car. So that's, we were anticipating an increase,
Okay.
and we've seen that, so.
Is somebody else, not leaving their car, use their car if you will?
Oh.
Don't go there.
That was pretty good.
Any more questions?
No, that's great.
And I'll email this to you as soon as I get back.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It really is a crime that doesn't have to happen. Just take the keys out of your car.
Yep,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
okay, thank you. Number 7, IT update, is there a report on the current status of IT? Good morning.
Commissioners. In addition to the everyday help desk functions that we take care of, I do have an update on the Scrum and data conversion. They had expected, but they had given us a date, February 10th, for the test data. They ran into some issues, but they think they have that resolved. And they plan to have the test data loaded on the server sometime this week. That's just test data, okay? The online training rollout, we've rolled out to everybody in the county except for the SO, and we should have that complete this week. We are working on resolving an issue kind of countywide with Adobe Acrobat. The issue is that a lot of the versions that are out there in the fields have already been what's called end of life by the manufacturer Adobe, so those have to be replaced. Some of those were end of life 6 years ago. So we hope to have that sorted out this week. If I didn't mention it in the last Commissioner's Court, we have upgraded the time clock server for HR, so they've been running on the new version for almost 2 weeks. No issues there. I think I did mention last time the cable was complete in the Julie area, and Nick's crew is working on building a nice little table cabinet. Yeah, kind of a custom job. Looks really nice, what I've seen so far. No reports from the users over there with any networking issues, so.
So it worked. Wow.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
They were very happy.
Yeah.
They were very happy.
It's good when you can complete a project,
Yeah, that's nice.
particularly when the public stands counter or something.
And with that, we're working on a plan for the next area in the county attorney's office, and should have something for the court, next court session. And another thing that we ran into, kind of fairly recently, we're looking at is the ShoreTel switch in this building. ShoreTel is the phone, is oversaturated, which has been causing some issues with phone pickup calls. We're working on a plan to reconfigure some of the county underutilized ShoreTel equipment in other locations. To alleviate that, so that we don't have spending for switch.
And those switches are how much?
About 4,000.
2 questions. The AT&T, the faster speed that we purchased, I think last time around, is that in and implemented?
I got with Carrie and we have to go, but we're kind of looking for extra money. We're trying to see if we can find a better price on a backup circuit at the LEC before we still have a little bit of time. So, yes, but we're just looking for some extra money.
Okay. And then last Commissioner's Court, we talked about a report to go to the judge around usage. If people are streaming videos or music, did the judge get that report?
She did not. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I'll get that.
It's okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank y'all.
Number 8 has been pulled from the agenda. Number 9, contract renewal, to consider and act upon renewal of a professional services contract between Sheriff and Justice Benefits, Inc., providing the JBI assistance in seeking funding reimbursements from federal financial participation programs, including the state criminal and human assistance program.
But we have no backup, is that correct?
No, I don't think so.
If it's a contract renewal, I normally read those, so I just call them for that one. Go ahead, I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
This is just an annual renewal of this program that's been in effect for some time. I don't actually know how long we've been doing this. It's been a number of years. These are inmates who are already in custody on other charges. We're not holding them based on their immigration status alone. So we're eligible for reimbursement under this program. And so it's just money that comes in to us by virtue of the fact that inmates are already in custody on other charges. They also have to be criminal labor. So we use this money for construction projects primarily in and around the jail. Certain parameters on what we can use the money for, but it does come in very, very handy for us. Usually if we have some sort of construction.
Can you walk me through what they do? I'm seeing the contract, I'll pass that along, it's just a couple of paragraphs. I'm not familiar with what JVI does. I'm seeing the description around assistance for funding, but help me understand what that looks like kind of on a day-to-day.
Well, it's a federal program, so, it's a rather lengthy and convoluted process to apply for reimbursement. So this is just a third-party vendor that helps, navigate that system, with us without us having to dedicate manpower or man-hours, to compile the data to submit to, the federal government. So, it's a company that just basically takes, a data feed from us, it does all the work. Basically, they're making the application for reimbursement for the county.
Okay, so like a third party to apply for grants and those type of things.
How much is the reimbursement average?
That I do not know.
It's, yeah, if you wanna, it's around 20 to 30,000, they get 22% of whatever we are, what's due for us. So if we get 40,000, they get about 12 or 11,000 of that to pay for their services.
So what are the type of programs that they apply for? And then help me understand, specifically calling out, including state criminal alien assistance program.
And that's the program that we're talking about here. We refer to that as SCAP, S-C-A-P. That's the program that I just described. And it does seem to imply that there are other programs, but that's really all we're talking about.
So they apply for one program and that being that one.
SCAP.
And what makes us eligible to get those dollars?
We have inmates in our custody who have been deemed to be criminal aliens. And by virtue of that fact alone, we're eligible to be reimbursed by the federal government for housing in our custody.
Okay,
Essentially, immigration charges have been filed and are pending on those particular inmates. And so we're eligible for reimbursement. And again, the good part about this is we would not be holding those inmates for any length of time just on those charges.
okay,
So these inmates have other charges, whether they be local or, from outside agencies. Once all those local charges are satisfied, they are immediately transferred to another facility, whether that be Randall County, who has a contract, or another federal facility, somewhere else. We're not having to spend money to make this money.
okay. So, and then one final question, you mentioned this, but I was reading that quickly, we didn't have that in our backup. You use the grant dollars to do what? How do you use these dollars?
There are parameters on what we can use the money for, and primarily, we use these funds for construction projects. And so, that's one of the things we can use it for. So anytime we're going to build something around the jail, we can tap into these SCAP funds for that. We have a project that we want to do this year very soon. It will only be a few $1,000s, but we'll use SCAP money for that.
So Carrie, was the SCAP money used at all in the LEC project? No.
And
It'll be used for that, only for the jail.
Only for the jail, so construction projects only for the jail, just to,
It
okay.
has to benefit the inmate.
Like we replaced the floor, with some, that's plastic squares, because we can't really repair it very well, because we have so many inmates that we can't move them, have a place that's empty and no traffic or whatever, so we replaced the floor here probably about 4 years ago, I guess, and that was pretty expensive. I say replace the floor, just in certain areas we've
Yeah.
done it. And so we can use that SCAD money for that.
Okay, very helpful, thank you very much.
I move we approve the contract between the sheriff and Justice Benefits Inc. that provides assistance in funding reimbursement.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor, raise your hand. Thank you, Kathleen, appreciate it. Number 10, sale of county property, to consider and act upon the approval of a real estate brokerage listing agreement with Macy Solano with LUXE Modern Realty to market county property located at 2440 Southwest 6th Avenue in Potter County, Texas. Chad, do you want to speak to that, or?
Well, it's one of three methods you can use if you want to see a property purchased by Amarillo senior citizens. And so this is an option for your consideration. Ms. Solano has, we have a contract with her, if approved, that will provide for 0% commission.
Okay. Good morning. Hi. Oh, that's fine, that's fine.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, nice to see you again.
So, my dad, the Trailblazer of County Missions, was brought to his attention that the Amarillo Senior Citizen Association is leaving their building as of October 1st. So he was on a mission around Amarillo and happened to find that building. And anyway, I would be happy to represent the county in getting Amarillo Senior Citizens, a new home.
And you are Macy?
Yes.
Okay, Macy, okay.
I had a really nice conversation with you the other day, and it's very insightful, and I feel really confident that we can do this stuff.
Good. Well, we're excited, anxious. October 1 is gonna be coming up very soon. I've already written a couple of grants, stating we already have the building, so we're claiming this building is ours. We've designed, I already have some renderings, I sent your email address a rendering of the front of the building. We retained an architect, to do some floor plans. We've, established kind of some guidelines of phases of the project. Phase 1 would be, $300,000. And that includes, securing insurance, changing over the utilities, hiring an architect, hiring an artist to do the rendering. Presentation package and printing, survey of the building for all the phases of construction. And the first thing that we want to do is install a new sign out in front, new home of the Amarillo Senior Citizens with an artist rendering of the building, what it's going to look like. And then I think there's an asbestos abatement that needs to take place, which is in phase 1. And then take bids on the demolition of the interior. So that's gonna consist of around $300,000 to get us started. Then phase 2 is $1.1 billion, and that's where we take the bids on the whole project. Mechanical, electrical, plumbing, roof, and just, after we get the plans going, take the bids. Phase 3, is kitchen equipment and furnishings, $200,000, kitchen equipment, furniture, computers, phone system, and security. And phase 4 is $150,000 contingency for overhead expenses, moving expenses, utilities, insurance, overhead expenses. So our total budget of $1.75 million is a pretty good task. But we hope with the Amarillo Area Foundation, and a group of, other foundations that we plan on contacting that this will all come about.
Questions, if I may, Judge. Tad, if you could forward that rendering to the full commissioners court, that would be nice to see.
I haven't seen it yet.
Right, when you get that, yeah. And then you also mentioned a list of commercial, real estate agents that we have on file already. Is that what you mentioned?
No.
Oh, okay, okay. I just wasn't sure, the relationship with Macy, how that kind of came about.
So Bob's my father,
Okay,
and he came to me obviously with this, and I just agreed to do it. Most people want a brokerage fee.
Yeah.
I own my own brokerage, so I can waive that, and I can use the money towards what they need to be used.
Is anybody in the audience here from the senior citizens? If you are, just stand up so we can just see who you are. Okay, good. I think you're gonna be really happy.
We have the president and the treasurer.
Okay, good. Well, I think, and when this is all said and done, I think it's gonna be a really, really good idea we did this, so. Rest easy. I think it's gonna be okay. Okay?
So we can write a check today?
Oh, well, I don't know about that. I wish you could. But we'll take the steps.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We need to, yeah, we need a motion on this.
Make the approval to approve the real estate brokerage listing agreement with Macy Solano, Boots, Modern Realty, Marquette County property located at 2404 Southwest 6th Avenue, Amarillo, County, Texas.
Motion and second, all in favor, raise your hand. Thank you. Number 11, sale of county property, discussion only to discuss sale of county-owned vacant lots at 901 and 905 South Jackson, and procedures for conducting such a sale. I talked to Sally Jennings the other day at a meeting I was at, and she says, Nancy, we're gonna build our building. We're gonna go around your vacant lots. And so I was talking to Tad, talking to other people, and I said, you know what? I wanna sell these lots to them. They're gonna do condos and, multi-story condos, and they're gonna do, parking and some retail on the bottom. And I think it would look pretty bad if we let them do this and have that vacant lot behind them, putting up to it. And so I'm gonna propose it one more time that we look into selling this again.
and this is just discussion on, no action today.
Is she coming back in?
They're out of town, they had their first renovated. They're out of
I know I
town
spoke
right now.
to her a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and they will be there to talk about it, whether you're architect with them. I have these drawings that are not real clear. If you wanna take a look at them and see what they're looking like, I think it's gonna be a really good thing. And so I just wanted to talk about this again and see what kind of.
I think you know my opinion, I think we should sell these lots,
I do too.
not impede this progress. They sit in our property for 30 years or better, and has no revenue, which it could have been, so.
And so by doing this, we will usually get tax money on this, so, Pat, can you tell the court exactly what happens if we decide to do this, how we just go back getting a broker on this too, or?
Well, if you wanna go the broker route, hopefully they have a friendly broker.
I know, yeah.
See,
Or we don't have to though, do we?
You can do a public auction, or you can do a seal, or you can hire a broker. Broker arrangement gives you a little more flexibility because you can write the terms that you're looking for into the listing agreement, like we've done with the senior citizens association. So that's allows you to sort of control what the uses are, what the approved uses are.
And Judge, I would add, this is probably fourth or fifth time that I think this particular property has been on the agenda, and I'm not opposed to selling the land. To me, the discussion has always been, it's a different dialogue when we're selling to a private entity versus our Amarillo Senior Citizen Dialogue. So I would just encourage us, as we're thinking through that, to not be afraid of asking top dollar, as we should, on behalf of our taxpayers for this land. It is a prime spot, and you would operate just as if you own that land. That's a very different dialogue than if we're working with a nonprofit. It sits in a very unique spot and around other development that I think will happen, and we need to be mindful of that. That's really where my discussion has been over the last 2-3 years, I think.
I don't think anybody's ever talked about giving the property away, selling it for.
Yeah, we're gonna sell it, but I don't think we should go top dollar on it, just because it's not doing anything now. I mean, nothing's been on it forever, or, has anything ever been on it? Nick, do you know if anything's ever been on there?
I don't think in the history of Potter County owning it, that anything in the vicinity of 1 block around it, there's been any growth. I can't see the future. I don't know that if there will be growth, but I know that if they do their plan, that could.
It will spur growth. So I'm just saying, be mindful of land that we own, which we're not typically in this position, right? We are lucky that we have some land that we can work with some nonprofits. That's a different dialogue. We own land where development is gonna happen. That's what I'm calling out, and that's what I continue to call out. So I mean, I hear what you're saying, Judge, and it's great that we have personal relationships.
It's not the personal thing, it's the fact that it's just 2 vacant lots that are making no money, and why can't we just sell them for a reasonable price and get that part of the downtown?
We should be willing to negotiate, and what someone
Well,
defines as
right.
reasonable.
I think they should all run the table.
Yeah.
We can put it out there, see what, bring it in.
Okay.
With this
City does
project,
not do that. Other counties don't do that.
with this project going forward, how many people are gonna wanna buy those 2 lots?
Thank you.
After this project?
Thank you,
And
Commissioner.
that might be, that's why you might wanna sell those lots to that particular
Right,
client.
okay,
Judge,
yes.
they do cost. There is a charge to Potter County every year, every month.
No, for upkeep, you have to,
There's upkeep, and then there's a utility fee to the city, I believe.
If you could get those dollar amounts, my guess is they're very small in comparison to our budget, so I just wanna make sure that's not part of the discussion. I mean, it's such a
I mean,
small.
they're small, but it is money coming out. so-
Sure, yeah, sure. But if you could have those numbers so we can relate it to something versus something ambiguous.
I don't think our taxpayers want us to be landlords
Agreed?
or own a bunch of extra property. Our taxpayers don't want that.
But I think our
And we're
tax.
just sitting there and it's not drawing any value to us other than costing us, even if it's a little bit, it's still costing us.
Would not disagree with that, but I also think our taxpayers are looking at ways to relieve our budget and our tax rate, which continues to go up.
Okay, so, we'll bring it on back, okay, thank you. Number 12, formal bid 1193-20, road materials to consider and act upon awarding RFB 1193-20, road materials to the list of vendors on the award recommendation sheet. Sebastian, are you here? Anything you would like to say about this?
No, it's just our normal bids for our steel coat material kind of stuff.
All these vendors are good to work with, the relationships.
And it's the same ones.
I make a motion that we approve awarding the bids as presented to the court for road materials.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor, raise your hand. 0. Number 13, family support services to consider and act upon the donation of listed office furniture to family support services. Chris?
Yeah, they came through and marked different office furnitures that they would like, and I added a list there for you guys to look at.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff went to auction and didn't sell. So a lot of the metal desks, I was keeping them to bring them off to the scrapyard. They can use them.
They can use it, and I'm sure they're happy to have it.
They are very happy.
I move to approve the list donate to the family services.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor, raise your hand. The 14 Fire Station Number 1 Contract Administration to consider and act upon increasing the Fire Station Number 1 Contract Administration budget to Parkhill, Smith and Cooper by $25,000, funds to come out of the owner contingency. Morning.
Good morning. I know you have the action item to discuss, but I was wanting to review the spreadsheet with you at first, and then we'll discuss the item at hand. But looking at the spreadsheet, I think it's in your packet. Just wanted to remind, if you look at the bottom, that we're still on budget, although we are asking for additional funds out of contingency. We're still on the original budget we set back in September. If you're looking at that first box is the construction budget for the project. That hasn't changed. Go down to that second box and kind of give you an idea. I try to highlight the things in yellow that have changed from the previous document. So there's a few items in this next couple of boxes that have changed, but just want to kind of look at from top to bottom. Looking at the second box, the soft cost box, where it says fees, architectural engineering fees, civil engineering, those were on the design and bid, so those were established by a percentage, and they are closed, so they will not change. We have that reimbursable task, which we estimated a little high at 8,000, and we've kind of dropped it down to 4 because we've only spent over 1,900 on it, and I don't think we're going to spend much more. So there's some of these numbers are going to go up and down, and just trying to show you at the bottom of the page. As we keep going, that contract administration, which we're going to discuss here in a second, was the second part of our contract with the county. That was an hourly basis with a maximum not to exceed. If we get close to that, we're to notify the county and then go from there, and that's what I'm here for today. We started talking about that last January or a month ago. The TDOR review and inspections, those were estimated about 2,000, but I think they're going to be about 1,200, so I kind of dropped that one down a little bit also. Again, the numbers are kind of budget numbers unless you see something that says executed, and that means it's kind of done. Going in that second or the third box, you kind of see the other items there, the owner items, along with geotech, your shelter reviews, your observations. These are ongoing and or they've been executed. We get down to the SWIP task. That one has changed. That one went up a little bit, $125 from the original amount. We have the contingency, and that's a set contingency by the county. And that's what we're going to take, or asking to take some of the additional contract administration fee out of. And then we have some modifications to the contract, which have been, one has been acted on, the other one has not. And then we have the third, at the very bottom, it says the additional admin request of that $25,000, that's what I'm here for today. As you see, some of the numbers have gone up and down, but the bottom line hasn't changed. We still have a contingency of over $200,000 in the project. And here is, as contract request, for additional contract administration for PSC to continue throughout the project.
And we still feel pretty confident that the bottom line.
I feel pretty confident. I know there's some items that, the owner items, they're doing a really good job on their end, the county is. So there's some less on it also. And really, I'm asking for the request because I don't want to come ask again. So I'm setting the amount up at a point, and if we don't spend that much, then we just don't spend that much because it's by the hour. If it goes over that, then I'm not going to ask the county.
What is the 25,000 for specifically that you're asking for?
So it's for, PSC wise, it's a contract administration, so it's for, it's basically to handle anything in the contract between the owner and the contractor. So such as,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the county and the contractor. So we review pay apps, we go to the meetings, submittals, RFIs, any modifications that go through the drawings, anything that comes up during construction, it would usually come to the architect to answer, and then we talk to the county about anything we need to act on.
That would have been included though in the original agreement.
It was. The original agreement up in that middle box that has contract administration up there with 15,000, but it was established by the hour with a maximum not to exceed. If you get close to that, we can ask the client, the county, to raise that up, and that's what I'm asking to do is raise that number up. That number was not a good number by PSC. So it's a mistake by PSC to establish it, but it still allows us to come to the county to ask for additional funds to finish contract administration.
The part that gives me pause is at the end of November, there was some missed elevation work. I think by the organization, roughly around 22,000, which I was told we would not be charged for, right? That was a mistake in the elevation work. we being Potter County and the taxpayers would not be charged that 22,000. What I wanna make sure is not happening, so it's very eerie how similar these numbers are, that we're not being charged this on the back end. That's what it feels like, right?
Correct.
So help me
So-
understand that.
On your CCR, if you look on that third box, CCR 001, you have a building pad that says 20,735. That is the work done by the contractor. So that is only his number. Any work that PSC did, I put back in our design tax, which you already paid for. So I absorbed.
As you should though, is that
As I,
correct?
and we took that and absorbed that number.
Okay,
That I would say that it wasn't designed incorrectly, we just raised the pad up higher for assurance.
okay. And maybe that's just semantics, cause right, what was being communicated is it could have flooded, maybe the architect found it, so I think it's just semantics, and we definitely don't have to get into any of that.
Understand?
I'm just trying to call out that, the 22,000 mistake, whatever, or readjustment, whatever we wanna call it, feels very similar to the 25,000 being asked for of what's already implied for those contract works.
No, the 25,000 is for work in the future. So if you look next to that 15,000 in the second box, you can see what it says current, 17,000. That's how much Parkville Smith and Cooper has spent so far. So we've actually gone over our limit, and per contract, I need to notify you guys of that, which I did last month. But that's our ongoing amount, and that's just from Parkville Smith and Cooper for doing CA work. So it's not part of the actual construction.
Carrie, what's our total amount that we have spent to Parkville Smith and Cooper? No, you don't have that, okay, that's okay. That's okay.
It's gonna be really close to the 213, the 20, and the 15 added together, which is listed on that, in that second box.
And how much did you raise that pad from initial to?
8 inches. Was it 8 inches?
It just doesn't make me very comfortable, I'll just say that on the surface, so everybody can make their own individual decisions, but the elevation readjustment or mistake, whatever you wanna call it, right?
But we also want to keep in mind that in any construction, any type of contract, you're gonna have some rules, you're gonna have some fluctuations, and that's why we have contingency.
Yeah, I would not disagree with that. I think, had that not occurred, I maybe would sit here in a different position. And so I work on contracts, and you have to move dollars and adjust and those kind of things, and so what you call things matters. And so that's really where my pause comes from, is that it's just being sliced or accounted for in a different direction. But everybody can, that's just my opinion. Okay. I have a motion.
I move to increase the fire station 1 contract administration budget for Hero Smith and Cooper by 9K. Funds to come out of the owner contingency.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? 4-1. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And, just to give an update, construction is moving along pretty good at this point, so everything seems to be on track.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, number 15, Potter County Constable Precinct 1, racial profiling reports reviewed, recognized, and Constable Precinct 1, racial profiling report and submitted. Okay, any questions on that? None, so recognize number 16, very same thing for Constable Precinct 4. No questions on that, so recognized. Employment items, maintenance and facilities, discharge of dog, Gabriel Escoto is custodian 1, effective February 4, 2020, and human resources resignation of Cheryl Ordonez as payroll assistant effective February 4, 2020.
Employment items as
Second, for a quick discussion, on Mr. Escoto, I'm just looking at the footnotes about remarks not being able to provide duties, reasonable accommodations were made. I'm assuming you worked with HR very closely on that. Is that correct? Okay, thank you.
A motion and a second, all in favor, raise your hand. Number 16, Potter County projects. Nicholas?
I think everyone heard about the green space getting blocked by.
Really? I didn't know that.
On the news. They are about 60% finished. They've done all the sewer work on piers. They're about to start, probably doing it right now. They poured the sidewalk up on Fillmore side. They're gonna start moving water. Actually, the water on piers. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. The water over here, the sewer is over here. Anyway, so they're rolling right along. They'll be a payout on the next quarter for that 60%. And then I'm looking for it to be done probably here in another 2 weeks. They'll be finished up and then I guess we'll wait to move it around. So anyway, I really don't have any other project plans. I know we're looking at, possibly looking at a different method for sending, the fire panel signal from all the downtown buildings out to the law enforcement center to dispatch, and, David is actually heading more of that up because it is about my need with the transmitter, things like that, so. That's something you can be expecting.
Only comment I have, because I think I see Carly in the audience, so I was in the jury, panel last week. And so obviously our jurors are looking for places to park. And there may be an opportunity, they shared when we were there that an overflow area was the hearing bank. I don't know if that's just been given a nod, I don't
No,
remember.
I asked him, anyone's free to park north of the area thing, but it's non-regulated. Anybody
Right.
can park there.
Right, so I'm just thinking of our jurors, and if there's any way to communicate that in advance, whether it's our new text message system, because I got my text message and I enjoyed that, or if it's in what we mail them, maybe it's just an easy sticker, I'm imagining those yellow stickers that you just place on stuff. Because we had several in the audience that had to get up and go with their car or had already paid for parking. So as this gets normal, I just experienced that firsthand, so I wanted to share that.
Just while you're standing there, I just want to go ahead and shout out some kudos to you from Lynn. We had an elderly, lady who works the election. She pulls up to Santa Fe building to get her paperwork to go to her place to work the election. Her car wouldn't start. She was frantic. Someone came to get her, to take her to the polling place so she wouldn't be late. And, these guys go out and use cables to jump her car, move it to the parking lot so it would not get ticketed, and she was very, very, very appreciative. And when I sent it to you, thank you.
Thank you, but I have to kind of push that off to Chris and Lynn because I didn't physically do it.
Well, I know you didn't do it, but you have men.
We have a good crew. I mean, they're good.
Your crew, well, tell them your crew, thank you.
I'm gonna tell them to watch just this part.
Fast forward all the way to the end, right?
All right. Number 19, jail report, year report in Carter County Detention Center. We have 511 people in our jail. 72 of those are females, and they're all still there. 88% are felons and 6% are misdemeanor cases. Number 20, executive session. There's no agenda items for next time.
Maybe I'll give an update on the census next time, the 2020 census, and I'll get a backup document to you. Okay.
If there's nothing else, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.